Good morning. Wednesday, March 15th, 2017, 9 o'clock, and we're in the Senator Hearing Room, Courthouse Square, 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem for a weekly Board of Commissioners meeting. We start our meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance, so please join. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we always start with public comment. Nobody has signed up to speak, so we'll move right into the consent calendar. Commissioner Cameron, by default, you're the only other one here.
Yeah, well, that's
It's
what
you.
happens when you're the second vice chair.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, I'll move the consent calendar. First item on the consent calendar is under the Board of Commissioners, OLCC application, recommend approval of the Oregon Indoor LLC in Salem, Oregon. Under the Health Department, approve amendment number 14 with the Oregon Health Authority to add $15,057 for HIV prevention services, environmental health drinking water program, and private domestic wells and public health. Also under the Health Department, approve amendment number 2 to reinstate the agreement with Mid-Valley Behavioral Care Network to add $204,876 for regional acute psychiatric inpatient services. Under Public Works, approve the public improvement agreement with KSH Construction Company for $973,973 for the construction of sidewalks and bike lanes on Delaney Road in the city of Turner. Tax Office, approve an order canceling uncollectible property tax accounts in the amount of $62,629.79. What did I say? Personal property tax accounts. There's a difference, right? There are different forms. I file them every year.
I'll second the motion.
All right.
It's not your personal property we're talking about, is it?
I hope not.
All right.
I wish it was.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve a consent calendar this morning. Any further discussion?
Well, maybe, maybe, Mr. Chair, there is something in there, so no, I don't have no idea. No refunds.
Now we'll have to look. Thanks.
Okay.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. First action item is under Community Services. We consider an order that approves the 2016-17 Community Project Grant applications and funding recommendations in the amount of $54,670 for the following. Friends of Historic Butteville, $14,955. City of Detroit, $5,715. City of Donald, $14,000. City of Turner, $10,000. City of Woodburn, $10,000. Sarah Cavazos is here, and you'll probably just read that list again, but tell us about it.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for your time. We are here to present the applications that have been brought forth for funding from the Economic Development Advisory Board for the 16-17. Sorry, I'm a fiscal year ahead. 16-17 community project grants. Community project grants are part of our Oregon Lottery economic development grant programs, and these grants are available to cities and nonprofits within Marion County that focus on funding projects that increase the livability and safety of communities. So we had applications come forth, and 5 of the 7 applications that came forward we are recommending for funding. We have a project from the Friends of Historic Butteville, and their project request is to have a topographical map and engineering design for a park created on the Butteville Landing. And this is going to increase tourism, increase recreational opportunities in the area, and also address safety. They have use of this area right now, and it's not very well kept up, so broken beer bottles, etc., and not safe entryways into the water, and they're wanting to address that. So that one has been recommended for funding. We also have the City of Detroit has applied for $5,715 for a code amendment to address tiny houses within their jurisdiction. So that project will go through the public process to consider whether or not the community wants those tiny houses, and if so, they're going to create a model code that can be catered to various communities as they wish and replicated in other cities. The City of Donald has requested $14,000 to help fund a UGB expansion study. They have been struggling with having a capacity for residential housing that can support the level of industry that they have up there. So they have a lot of people commuting in. They're going to be preparing that study to present and try to go through the process for approval. And then City of Turner has requested $10,000 toward their Mill Creek Phased Flood Mitigation Analysis and Implementation Project. This involves multiple jurisdictions and funding from City of Salem, City of Almsville, City of Turner, and they requested that Marion County come to the table through this grant application. And then finally, the City of Woodburn has a downtown alleyway beautification project. They've requested $10,000. Their total project cost is $73,000. You can see in your packet that they have some beautiful rendering designs of what these new alleyways are going to look like. It's going to address downtown improvement in terms of facade, but also addressing safety by having more well-lit alleyways and creating walking paths to help support the businesses and bring people down into the downtown area more. So those are the 5 that we have before you, requesting approval for an order to allocate funds. Is there any questions that you guys have?
Well, I do just in general. So dollars left after this distribution and other applications that have come in, and perhaps one didn't get. I don't know if we need to go over that, but just a little bit more about that, where we are.
How much funds we have. Yeah, so we're going to be running a second grant round that is going to close, I believe it's May 25th. I don't have it off the top. It's last Friday in May. And we have $65,000, I believe, available for the second round of grant proposals. We are going out to the communities. We just held a Mid-Valley Rural Conference last week on Tuesday, and we promoted the grants there. We've had a few inquiries from communities, and we're going to go out to the communities who have yet to apply for this year and work with them on seeing if they have projects identified to get their applications in before. And then we'll be bringing, before the application date, we'll be bringing recommendations to you guys again in June for final applications for this year.
Okay. Anything else?
No, Mr. Chair, I missed this EDAB board meeting when they did, but I know there was some good discussion. The Butteville issue, you and I actually had a tour up there, I think, last year. We went there in that loading area, and there was some, I think Public Works went up and made some improvements last year for us, but this is to add to that facility. I think that would be a really good thing for those people up there. The Turner issue, I know since the flood they've been working on mitigation issues, and the potential for that would be they're looking at how they could have other retention areas out further of the city to catch the water. That's what part of this is looking at, which would be a good thing for the city of Turner. And then we just looked at those floodplain
Yeah, I'm
maps.
just wondering
It's
if they
scary.
shouldn't have waited to do those flood maps till after something new
Yeah.
is put in place, because suddenly new areas are subject to flood insurance and different building prohibitions. But
Yeah, and then the Donald one, and I know we've been talking about North traffic and North County traffic a lot, but this would help reduce that in the fact that people could actually live and work there in those industrial complex and not have to commute as far if they can get their expansion done for their home. So I think these are all really good opportunities. I will declare just a potential conflict of interest on the Detroit area, is that I own property up there. And whenever there's potential for change in zoning or whatever, it may be conflict. So.
I'm just picturing a tiny house in that front yard section. It'll be fun.
Well, I've got another lot around, or actually it's in
now
my
you're
family
serious.
around the area that has just RV pads on it, so that potentially.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chair, if there's no other comments, I'll make a motion that we consider approving an order of the 2016-17 Community Project Grant applications and funding recommendations in the amount of $54,670 for the following: Friends of Historic Butteville, $14,955. City of Detroit, $5,715. City of Donald, $14,000. City of Turner, $10,000. The City of Woodburn, $10,000.
All right, and I'll second it. So it has been moved and seconded to approve the order that makes a community project grant applications or funds them, as you've just read. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thanks so much, Sarah.
Thank you.
Next item's under Public Works. We consider adoption of an administrative ordinance granting a zone change and comprehensive plan amendment, ZCCP 16001 Gray. And Joe Fenimore's here to finish this up essentially.
Sure.
Go ahead, Joe.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, Joe Fenimore. This item before you today was a request to change the comprehensive plan designation from special agriculture to rural residential, to change the zone from special agriculture to AR10, acreage residential with a 10-acre minimum lot size. And this is on a 5-acre parcel located on Ridgeway Drive southeast in Turner. The Marion County Hearings Officer held a public hearing on April 6, 2016, and on October 24th issued a report recommending the board deny the request unless additional information and evidence was provided. The board held a public hearing on February 15, 2017, and at this hearing, the applicant submitted additional information and evidence. After considering all the information and evidence in the record, the board approved the request. The ordinance and findings have been prepared, and notice of adoption was given on March 8th. The administrative ordinance is now set for formal adoption. The board has the options of adopting the ordinance as written, direct staff to prepare a modified ordinance, or choose not to adopt an ordinance at this time. Staff recommends you adopt the ordinance as written.
All right, thank you. Questions?
I think we've
we went
we've
over
went
this.
through this quite heavily over a period of time. Mr. Chair, if you'd like, I'll make a motion to consider to adopt an administrative ordinance granting zone change comprehensive plan amendment ZCCP 16-001/Gray.
I'll second the motion. So it's been moved and seconded that we do adopt a administrative ordinance that grants the zone change comprehensive plan 16001 Gray, as we've just read. Any further discussion? Don't hear any. All in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
And that too, because it looks like there's
Yeah,
been an
right.
oversight. Our next item, we consider approval of the lease agreement with the U.S. Department of Energy Bonneville Power Administration for $42,700 for transmission line easement and non-exclusive roadway easement. Alan Haley, or Public Works, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Alan Haley with Public Works. This is an easement for the Department of Energy Bonneville Power Administration. They are preparing to replace their number one high voltage line between Salem and Albany. That line crosses our Browns Island landfill. They currently have an easement as it sits today, but the new line, as it will be coming in, they need an additional acre of line easement and to cover the sway of the power lines. And in addition to that, they need additional road easements to be able to access the line and install it. So that's the agreement that's in front of you today. The line transmission easement is for $10,000, and the road easements are for $32,700. So a total for the agreement of $42,700. And we are in favor of granting this easement and would ask that you do so. Questions?
Well, I heard you say, excuse me, you had something first?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Well, I was just curious, as you said that, I was wondering why we wouldn't do this. You said you recommend, but why wouldn't you? Has to go through anyway.
I have absolutely no reason to not
Okay,
grant this easement.
yeah. All right.
So just the only question I had, Alan, what's non-exclusive roadway easement mean?
We are still allowed to use it as well as them.
Okay.
So it's multiple uses.
Right.
All right.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve the lease agreement with the U.S. Department of Energy Bonneville Power Administration for $42,700 for transmission line easement and non-exclusive roadway easement.
Second the motion. So it's been moved and seconded that we approve this easement. Any further discussion? I call a question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Commissioner.
Alan.
So that went quickly, but the last I have to do is to read the places we'll be together in the coming week. This afternoon, exactly at noon, we have a county community forum with the state and Rotary, Santiam Golf Club, 8724 Golf Club Road, southeast in Almsville. And that's available to the public. It's an extension of our State of the County, but it's really more a town hall meeting. Love to have people come with questions, and we'll let Commissioner Cameron answer them. Everybody will be happy.
I think I get to do that tomorrow night on,
Yes,
On your
you'll be
calendar
going to
there.
one alone.
right. Kind of
I
intimidating.
can be reached by phone, just so you know. All right, Thursday, the 16th, 8 to 9, City of Salem, Marion County meeting at the Sassy Onion, 1244 State Street in Salem. That's followed at 9:30 by a work session having to do with a solid waste update, Silver Conference Room, 5th floor, 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem. And then, Mr. Cameron, one-on-one, up at Gates, and that's from 6:30 to 8, the County Community Forum with Santiam Mill City, Gates Fire Hall, 140 East Sorbin, Gates. Now, I have a legitimate excuse. I have a ONC board meeting in Springfield, entirely too close to Eugene, but
I'd rather be in the canyon myself.
I think I would too. All right, Monday, 8:30 to 9, the 20th, calendar review, Silver Conference Room, 5th floor, 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem. Management update is Monday, that's followed, the calendar review, the 20th, 9 o'clock to 11, Silver Conference Room, 5th floor, 555 Court Street. And at 2:30 on Monday, a one-on-one with Department Head Alan Haley, who we just had here, Silver Conference Room, 5th floor, 555 Court Street in Salem. And then on the Tuesday, the 21st, from 12 to noon, another of the town halls scattered around. This will be before or with the Salem Chamber, State of the County Conversation, 1110 Commercial Street Northeast in Salem. That's followed at 6:30 to 8:30. Getting to be a big meeting. I've been just specifically summoned, so I will be there. North Marion County Traffic Safety Meeting, St. Paul Community Hall, 20239 Main Street Northeast in St. Paul. And that's followed with our weekly, or not followed, on Wednesday, the 22nd, 9 o'clock to 1, our board sessions here in the Senator Hearing Room, 1st floor. And that afternoon, a taping at Capital Community Television. It's 2:30 to 3:30, CCTV
They're
office,
just waiting for me.
575 Trade Street in Salem. So, anything else you'd like to bring up or that you're hiding?
Did I hear you say you are going to be at the
Yes.
North Traffic? Okay,
I
good.
planned on it anyway, but
Yeah,
it
I'm
wasn't.
glad you're going to be there. I'll put you up front this time.
No, I just like to watch.
You got your bulletproof vest on.
So anything else? Good of the
Gosh, it's
county.
been a
We've never had
busy,
that.
it's
Let's have
been a
good of the
busy
county.
week. It's, huh?
A good of the county, often.
A good of the county.
Yeah,
It's,
that'd be
it was a
something.
busy week and in fact, today's Wednesday. Last night I thought it was Friday.
You're in trouble.
Because we had AOC Monday. Spent some time. We had a legislative reception that we had a good turnout from legislators there that evening, and got to know them. And want to do a shout out for our contributions. We had what do you call it? taste of the counties, and we had Willamette Valley Vineyards was did donation from here, and there was some cheese, Tillamook cheese from Tillamook. There was clam chowder from Moe's. It was a really good event, and we got to know some people a little bit better. Yesterday, I did the Public Safety Coordinating Council in absence of Commissioner Carlson. I sat through that. What else did we do yesterday? Oh, we're working on the governor's reentry job, the job implementation group. Got some good plans done there. And then Hubbard last night, city council meeting.
Oh.
And I just wrote him a note.
That's the Burger Hut, how that came to be. I get it.
I was there. I walked into their city council chambers at 6:30, and they were in a executive session, and they said, "Hello, Kevin, but you can't be here right now." So I went and found a burger. That's how I got a Burger Hut, right? And so I did that last night, and I was really impressed how Dia and the counselors handled the public's input, and they did it in a very professional way. And it's great always to see politics at a local level. You did it for years. I never was on a city council, but I mean, you go from here to there, and it's totally
Did
different.
you make a presentation? Or?
No, I just sat in the back the whole time. Yeah. I didn't stay till the end.
So
though.
what are their issues? Anything jump at you in Hubbard?
Well, it was
Well,
the whole time.
certainly
The whole
police
time.
chief, I guess, huh?
Yeah, and, you know, they've contracted with us for our sheriff's department to help them with the police chief. But the whole time I was there for 2.5 hours, basically almost 2 hours, yeah, was the whole annexation issue, bringing in property. Questions of why is it going to be R2 versus R1? Well, and people don't understand it was when they brought it into the urban growth boundary, it was zoned for medium density. That's the density zoning. So they're trying to explain to everybody, and it was quite the education for many people. So yeah, how about you? What did you do yesterday when I was like really, really busy?
I wasn't eating a good
Mr.
hamburger
Chair,
milkshake in Hubbard.
I didn't have the milkshake.
All right.
since Commissioner Cameron talked about the meeting with the legislature, I'm wondering if we couldn't get a bunch of legislators to pass legislation doing away with daylight savings time in Oregon.
Does that mess with you, John?
Hey, it's killing me.
Oh, that's
Yeah, you're supposed to lose 1 hour, but I lose an hour every morning.
It does. It takes probably 2 months for me to get back to where I'm not tired.
I think that a couple really good things that happened last week, and it's public knowledge now, isn't it? Our new director of health?
Yes.
Yeah, promoting one of our own, Carrie, to that position. That was a really positive thing. You were asking for good things in the county.
We're going to have a meet and greet and
Yeah.
introduce her to the public better, so I'm looking forward to that. But
And
it was
then
a good choice.
I went up and toured. You knew this place because you said you picked up garbage up there. We won't talk about that anymore. But I went up and toured Wilcox Farms, egg farm, and just right on the border. In fact, the house that's on the farm is split between Clackamas and Marion County, and I forget how many dozens of eggs a day they do. And if you buy an egg at Costco in Oregon, it's coming from
theirs,
that farm.
right.
Every day they're shipping eggs out of
And they're
there,
doing good,
and they're
I
doing
take it.
direct delivery to Costco throughout Oregon. So part of a nice family operation that has operations in Washington and Oregon. And it was interesting to hear, and these are things that people don't think about, and you do because I know you're into this.
I'm afraid of this now, but what is
Bird
this?
flu.
Oh, yes,
Okay.
it could happen.
Right, because you're into this. So he's got within, I think he said a 6-mile radius, if there's a bird flu outbreak,
Everything shuts down.
everything shuts down. Remember, they had that back in the Midwest,
Yes, just
and they would
recently.
have to destroy every chicken there. Okay, so he's got neighbors like right next to him that have chickens. And he went over to those neighbors and said, look, I'll give you all the eggs you ever want. Anytime you want
Please
eggs.
don't.
If you please don't. And they said, no, we like our chickens. He can't do anything about it. So what was interesting was to hear their strategy because of that potential issue. I mean, you could have them 5 miles away and it'd be a
Sure.
problem. But they've diversified their farms, and they're putting their young chickens someplace further out. They're moving them further out into Eugene or someplace. They bought this farm so that if something like that happened, they could recover quicker.
Now, this isn't a new concept, about not putting all your eggs in one basket. You've heard that one.
I think I have heard that one. But anyways, I learned a lot last week, and I learned not to put all my eggs in one basket last week.
Let's see, one legislative thing I'm a little mad, and I'll say it out loud, where they want to make it, do away with electoral college and ship all your votes to you see this, as they're talking about it today in the legislature.
It's
And
been
so if it turns around that I vote for Hillary, we got issues. I'm not going to stand for that. Terrible.
It came up when I was there every year. There's several states that have done it
Well,
already.
it's just an idea to circumvent
Yeah.
the electoral college. And then on a personal, I have a nice event that I'm going to do. It's called Creating Opportunities, and it's in Kaiser Saturday evening. I'm the MC, but we highlight kids with disabilities, developmental disabilities. My granddaughter will be there. She still can't listen to me talk, so I don't talk much. But it's a fun evening, and they highlight the advancements and efforts that people are making for these special kids, and I look forward to every year.
It is in Kaiser?
Lehrman, yeah,
Okay.
legislator from is it Polk County?
Yeah.
I met him there last year, and I got to tell you the truth, I hadn't heard of him before, but he's just the nicest man. I've been watching the things he does, and really impresses me. So he's supposed to be there again. Hope to visit with him.
He actually, his district, Mike Neerman's district, actually goes into Marion County. His district actually goes into Marion County. It cuts right below, because I was in House District 19, it cuts a little sliver right below the winery, Willamette Valley Vineyard Winery. And when you set, and I don't know if they've taken it out, but when I would go to a Cascade School Board meeting to, just say hi and listen to their issues, when I'm sitting in the Cascade School Board, I was actually in his district.
Oh, really? Yeah,
It was the weirdest thing. It was Boquist then, but it was like the sliver that comes across. It's gerrymandering.
And my last item of non-interest or non-importance to the county government is I get kind of fired up with March Madness. It's a fun time for us. I just want you, Kevin, in particular, think Gonzaga. Just write it
Oh,
down.
wouldn't that be nice?
All right. Anything else you'd like
Not-
to bring up this
Not
morning?
ducks?
I mean, what? Yeah, I had him winning a game. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm fair.
Hey, so the first 4 games are today, right? They get rid of
think
the
so.
first,
Yeah,
they have the
season.
bottom 4 or whatever they call them?
Last night. There were at
Oh.
least 2 last night.
Oh, dear.
Oh, really?
Both my picks lost.
I thought it
great way
started
to start.
Wednesday.
It's a start.
I thought it started Wednesday. Okay.
I thought so too.
All right, anything else this morning? Especially something serious.
You're trying to drag this out to 9:30.
No, I'd like to
just
know
so-
that this is my big meeting for the week. I'd like to know that it lasted more than a half hour.
Well,
Killing us, CCTV.
All right.
all right.
With that, I'll call this meeting adjourned.